Welcome to Dark Side of History channel, where the untold stories of the past come to life. So don't forget to subscribe and uncover the mysteries with us.
Mental hospital punishment chair. A cruel punishment device called the lunatic's chair was used in Netherlands mental hospitals during 1938. Patients were strapped to this chair for hours as a form of treatment. This photograph shows how poorly mental health was understood in the past. Congo military ambush survivor. Major Eric Bond was shot twice during an ambush in Congo with serious arm and chest wounds in 1961. This photograph shows the dangerous reality of military service in African conflicts. The image captures the brutal nature of colonial warfare. Mississippi pearl diving innovation. A creative diver used a makeshift helmet made from a gas tank for pearl diving in the Mississippi River during 1938. This dangerous method shows how people risk their lives for valuable pearls. The photograph captures American ingenuity during the Great Depression. Medieval torture mask horror. Severe punishment devices from the 18th century caused terrible discomfort and blindness to prisoners. These torture masks were designed to humiliate and hurt people accused of crimes. The photograph shows the cruel justice system of medieval times. Self-service shopping revolution. Piggly Wiggly Supermarket introduced self-service shopping in Encino, California during 1962. This photograph shows customers picking their own groceries instead of asking store clerks. The innovation changed how people shop for food forever. DDT malaria fighter. An Italian soldier sprayed DDT and kerosene mixture to fight malaria-carrying mosquitoes in 1945. This photograph shows early attempts to control dangerous diseases after World War II. The chemical was later banned when people learned it was harmful. Triple disaster survivor. Violet Jessup survived 3 major ship disasters, including Titanic in 1912, Britannic in 1916, and Olympic collision. This remarkable woman's photograph shows someone who lived through incredible maritime tragedies. Her survival story seems almost impossible to believe. Indian road building women. 20 women built a highway in Darjeeling using manual rollers in 1903 in India. This photograph shows the hard physical labor that women performed in road construction. The image captures how infrastructure was built by hand before modern machinery. Coney Island safety standards. A baby rode a roller coaster at Coney Island during the 1970s, showing different safety standards. This photograph demonstrates how amusement park rules have changed over the decades. The image shows parenting attitudes were very different in the past. Frozen Lake wine transport. Workers moved heavy wine casks across frozen Lake Erie during the winter of 1910. This dangerous photograph shows how people transported goods before modern trucks and roads. The frozen lake provided a temporary highway for heavy cargo. English language journey. The English language evolved over 10,000 years from Old English to become a global language. This linguistic photograph shows how languages change and spread around the world. The transformation demonstrates how communication shapes human civilization. Medical school dissection room. Medical students worked in a dissection room at Jefferson Medical College in Philadelphia in 1902. This photograph shows how doctors learned anatomy by studying real human bodies. The image captures medical education before modern teaching methods. Christmas truce miracle. German soldiers sang around a Christmas tree during a temporary truce on the Eastern Front. This photograph shows how humans can emerge even during brutal warfare. The Christmas truce became one of the most famous moments of World War I. Beer for all ages advertisement. Early 1900s beer advertisements promoted alcohol for people of all ages, including children. This photograph shows how different attitudes toward drinking were in the past. Modern advertising laws would never allow such marketing today. Salvation Army coffin shelter. Homeless people slept in coffin-shaped beds at Salvation Army shelters for 4 pence during the late 1800s. This photograph shows the desperate poverty of Victorian England's cities. The unusual beds provided cheap shelter for people with nowhere else to go. Giant military training rifles. Camp Pendleton used enormous M23 and M24 rifles for military training exercises in 1956. These unusual weapons showed soldiers practice techniques for different combat situations. The giant rifles helped soldiers practice techniques for different combat situations. Guy Fawkes Night Celebration. Street processions with fireworks and effigies celebrated Guy Fawkes Night in England during 1876. This photograph shows the traditional celebration of the failed gunpowder plot. The holiday continues today as Bonfire Night with similar festivities. Ancient Roman Memorial Ring. A Roman ring belonging to Titus Gemello created a holographic-like memorial for an 18-year-old during the 1st century. This photograph shows advanced Roman craftsmanship in jewelry and memorial art. The ring demonstrates how people honored the dead in ancient times. Colossal Mars Statue. A massive Roman statue of Mars showed incredible detail, including carefully carved sandals during the 2nd century. This photograph captures the skill of ancient Roman sculptors and artists. The statue shows how Romans honored their gods with monumental art. Last Revolutionary War Soldier. John Kitts lived to 105 years old from 1761 to 1870 as the last surviving Revolutionary War soldier. This photograph shows a direct connection between America's founding and the Civil War era. His long life spanned the entire early history of the United States. Ball turret gunner maintenance. Aircraft gunners serviced 50 caliber Browning machine guns in ball turrets during the 1940s. This photograph shows the dangerous job of bomber aircraft gunners during World War II. The cramped turret position was one of the most hazardous roles in aviation. Montana Cowboy Rest. A rare photograph captured a Montana cowboy taking a moment of rest during 1890. This image shows the hard life of cattle ranchers in the American West. The photograph captures an authentic moment from the frontier era. First commercial seaplane. The Panama Sikorsky S-40 became the first commercial seaplane for international flights in 1932. This early seaplane shows early attempts to connect distant countries by air. The seaplane could land on water when airports were not available. Egyptian entertainment device. An early amusement ride operated in Egypt during 1870 as primitive entertainment. This photograph shows how people created fun activities before modern carnival rides. The device demonstrates that people have always sought entertainment and thrills. Steam-powered robot innovation. An early automation robot ran on steam power using a wheeled cart during the 1870s. This Victorian time shows mechanical workers and helpers, which represent early experiments with artificial intelligence and automation. Cat drinking from bottle. An adorable domestic scene showed a cat drinking from a bottle in 1911. This photograph captures a sweet moment between humans and their pet animals. The image shows that people have always loved taking pictures of their cats. Lipstick killer messages. A criminal left messages written on walls during his crime spree in 1946. This photograph shows evidence from one of America's most famous murder cases. The case helped develop modern criminal investigation and forensic science techniques. Wolf boy discovery. Dina Sanichar was a feral boy found living with wolves in India during the 1860s to 1990s. This photograph shows a child who grew up completely separated from human society. His story may have inspired the famous Jungle Book stories about Mowgli.